Joining us now are Neama Rahmani, former federal prosecutor, and technology journalist Jacob Ward. Great to have you both. Neama, the state of New Mexico accused Meta of being a breeding platform for child predators. The jury ruled against Meta on every single charge. This is huge.
Oh, it is, and you called it historic. I think we will remember today's landmark verdict as potentially the beginning of the end for social media apps as we know it. And they maxed out the fines against Meta. And this is just the beginning. The judge still has to rule on the equitable relief. So we know jurors, they award damages. But as far as actual changes that Meta has to make, that is something that has to be decided by a judge in a separate trial. So obviously there's a jury deliberating here in LA, but I think history will look back on today like we did with the tobacco litigation. I'm old enough to remember when we had smoking sections in restaurants and airplanes, and certainly it was the litigation that changed how we think about those tobacco companies, and I think things are changing and changing in a very fast way when it comes to social media apps as well.
Neama, you've got a long memory if you remember smoking sections on airplanes. But Jake, other states are watching this. They were watching this case so closely. Does this verdict late today open the floodgates now for other lawsuits in other jurisdictions?
Elizabeth, yes. Yes, it does. It is an enormous floodgate opening against Meta here. I mean, what you have, right, is not just the principle that's been established here, right, which is this idea that these companies are now no longer protected by Section 230 against charges that their design is facilitating harm, right? That's the big Rubicon that we have crossed here. But also, it's the money, right? $5,000 per user affected is the math that New Mexico did here. And that came to the $375 million thing there, right? But you're talking about a very small state. You'd look instead at a state like Florida, 22 million people, New York, 19 million people. These are places where suddenly the damages could run not just into the hundreds of millions of dollars, but into the tens of billions of dollars.
Wow.
And that's where you start to get into an existential crisis for a company even as large and as successful as Meta has been. Not to mention, as Neama pointed out, all the other things that a judge might layer onto it beyond this. But what this is really doing is basically establishing a currency, a conversion rate at which damages could be assessed in future, and that rate is going to start spreading like wildfire as these cases get to go forward.
Yeah, I don't know a kid who isn't on Instagram. I don't know a lot of kids on Facebook, but it feels like every kid, including my kids, are on Instagram and have been. So when you talk about those damages, when you're assessing per child, that's going to really add up. Neama, this verdict today came in so fast. This jury didn't even deliberate a full day. What does that tell you about the evidence they heard?
That tells me how strong the case was. And we've been talking about LA again, a different case. But like Jake said, the California Attorney General, they filed their own lawsuit. And you have these civil plaintiffs as well. The fact that they returned a verdict so quickly, oftentimes the conventional wisdom is that might be a defense verdict because you need a lot of time to deliberate to award big damages. But it wasn't the case at all. They found tens of thousands of violations and the statutory max of 5,000 per. And if you start going to these bigger states, and we've seen it in the opioid litigation, right, where these attorney generals, there's this copycat litigation. Today was really sort of the canary in the coal mine, and New Mexico was really at the forefront, and expect to see much more of these types of verdicts, and probably fast verdicts. And again, jurors aren't supposed to watch the news. Hopefully those jurors in LA aren't watching NewsNation, but they can't help to possibly hear about this. And will that affect their deliberations, even though it shouldn't? Possibly, Elizabeth.
Yeah, a lawyer for the plaintiff in the California case literally moments ago just held a news conference because that jury, this jury in the New Mexico case came back after a half day of deliberations. The jury in the Los Angeles case is on day 8 and counting. They went home again just a few moments ago for the night. They will resume tomorrow. But the lawyer said, I sure hope the jury isn't supposed to be watching this coverage, but you're right. The cases are different in the circumstances, but the theme is the same, that these big tech companies are not doing enough to protect our kids, and that these big tech companies, in fact, are doing everything they can to maximize their profits by getting more and more kids online for as long as humanly possible. Jake, Meta says it will appeal the case. Meta says it, quote, works hard to keep people safe on our platforms. Listen, there was plenty of evidence presented in the trial in New Mexico and in the trial in Los Angeles that showed Meta was not doing enough, and it knew it wasn't doing enough. So when Neama said at the start of this whole exchange, this whole interview we're doing, that he expected this to be the moment when these tech platforms change, do you agree, and what changes might we see?
Yes, I do agree. It could be a real generational shift in how social media works. I mean, frankly, it could be a shift in how childhood works, honestly. You know, the question now becomes the very thorny one of, right, as even, I interviewed the Attorney General in New Mexico who won this case, Raul Torres. You know, he told me, I don't want to be doing this kind of thing court case by court case. We don't want to build law that way. We want the federal government to step in and create law. The problem now is now that tort is becoming the method by which these kinds of things are being decided, we're suddenly in a position where suddenly it could be even harder for federal law to come together. It could be that torts sort of take over the day, right?
Okay.
So there's some real complication coming up, I think, around that. But what we now know is that we've entered a part of American history where suddenly a jury of everyday people can look at this, I'm calling it the architecture of choice that these companies have built, and are starting to understand it in a way that traditionally in the United States we have only tended to blame people who are addicted, blame people who are obese. Now we're looking at systemic architectural design choices and holding companies liable for that. And that's a new day here, Elizabeth.
It is a new day. Neama Rahmani, Jacob Ward, huge historic verdict. Thank you both for jumping on to weigh in on it. Appreciate it.